What's up, Tech Kings? Stefan here from TechRight. Today we're going to be talking about the new A series devices that Samsung talked about today. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone out there is safe. We got some news on the A33, the A53, and the A73 that Samsung has talked about in today's keynote. And I just want to say how cool it is that Samsung finally made a keynote for the A series devices. You know, I'm sure they took a look at their sales and they're like, you know what, this probably makes sense. So it's really cool that they did that, especially in the economy that we're in right now. Not a lot of people have the funds to go out and buy a phone like, you know, the S22 Ultra or something crazy like that. So it's really cool that Samsung offers a line of devices that are very, very well priced, and commend you, Samsung. Good stuff. You know, everybody was talking smack about Samsung in the comment section down below about mid-range and budget devices, and it's weird to me because that's 57% of their sales last year. So I don't know what people are going on about. This is the majority of people buying budget and mid-range devices, and as the economy stands right now, this is going to happen more and more. So you guys are going to see many videos on mid-range and budget devices, as always, on the TechRight channel. So if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. So this is from gsmarena.com. Now, if you guys want to see this article and read it for yourself, I'll leave it in the description down below. But it says Samsung Galaxy A73, A53, and A33 are announced. Let me get this out of the way really quick. So everybody's saying that the A53 isn't going to be offered in the US, but it's on Samsung's website, and you guys can get it for US Cellular, you guys can get it for T-Mobile, you can get it for Verizon and AT&T as well, and you can get it unlocked. So yes, it is available in the United States, and I'm definitely glad it is. On the other hand, I don't know if the A33 and A73 are. We're gonna get into that though. So it says the Galaxy A series welcomes two new phones, 5G phones, which introduce a new 5 Nm chipset, a chipset that Samsung barely mentions, but it should be the new Exynos 1280. As for the two phones, they're mostly the same save for the display and the camera. So as for the Samsung Galaxy A73, it says it is going to be the largest of the three and offers the biggest display at 6.7 inches, which is going to be a Super AMOLED display, Full HD resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, that replaces a display of the same size with 90 Hz refresh rate on last year's A72. So, you know, we definitely saw that coming. That's definitely a appropriate upgrade for that device. It says in that one was a 4G phone only. We never got a 5G version. Clearly the A73 doesn't offer next-gen connectivity. The unnamed chipset is paired with 6 or 8 GB of RAM, so you guys have that option. And we have either the option of 128 or 256 GB of storage, plus a micro SD card slot for up to 1 TB more. So you guys actually have that option now, so stop complaining. So it says the phone boasts a 108 megapixel main camera with a f1.8 aperture lens with optical image stabilization, so that's nice to see. And they explained it very well in their keynote, so I would definitely go ahead and take a look at their keynote, and they show you pretty much all of the specifics and stuff, but there's some really cool features that people have been asking about, and they fixed a lot of this in these devices, so I'm kind of happy about this, honestly. Replacing the old 64 megapixel sensor, there's no telephoto lens this time around. However, so the phone relies on its high resolution main sensor to do the zooming. The main camera is joined by a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 5 megapixel macro camera, and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. On the front is a 32 megapixel selfie camera punch hole into the display, which I always think look good for this type of form factor. The hole punch, chef's kiss. We don't want any water droplet notches anymore. Just leave that in 2020. The battery situation is going to be the same as last year, which I don't think was bad at all. 5,000 milliamp capacity and 25 watt charging. It says the smaller A53 and A33 offer the same battery, which is great to see. Since they have smaller screens, they're going to have very powerful batteries as well. It says the Samsung Galaxy A73 5G will be available in select markets from April 22nd. Pricing details are to be announced, so I'm not sure about that. It looks like for the United States, the A53, and we're going to talk about that right now, but the A53 is going to be released in the US market at $450, so that's actually $50 down from last year's Galaxy A52. So that's actually a really good improvement on pricing right there, and they seem to be very conscious about that this year. So salute to Samsung again. Now, it doesn't say if they're going to have a charger inside of the box, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to have it. But you know, it is what it is, honestly. Now, for the A53 5G is going to be equipped with a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display with Full HD Plus resolution and 120Hz refresh rate. The 32-megapixel selfie camera is punch hole into the display as well, so nice to see that. Flipping over to the other side, the main camera has a 64-megapixel sensor and an f1.8 aperture lens with optical image stabilization as well. It actually looked really good in the samples that I saw on their keynote. Hopefully they keep that, because you know, I know some companies like Huawei and other ones like that use a DSLR for that, so hopefully that's not the case. But it says joining it are a 12-megapixel ultra wide camera, f2.2 aperture, a 5-megapixel macro camera, and a 5-megapixel depth sensor. It said those numbers may not make Galaxy A52 or A52s owners jealous, but the new model is not without upgrades. And I'm sorry, this was what the phone's gonna look like right here. Now, it is going to be a little different of a design. It's not going to be exactly the same, even though it looks exactly the same. The camera module is actually not just going to be like a little Lego brick laid on the phone. It's kind of going to be like a graceful, seamless little transition from the back of the phone to the camera module. So it's not going to be a little brick. It's going to kind of look like a skateboard half pipe, kind of similar to this phone that I'm using right now, actually, on the X100 from Nokia. As you guys see, it kind of just goes on there. It's not just going to be a little brick. So I think that's kind of cool. You know, I don't really have too much of an opinion on that, but I think that's cool. I think it still looks exactly the same, but to each their own. And I hope Samsung does offer some other designs for those devices. I think that would be really cool. But I'm hoping that Samsung in the future does do something wacky and crazy like Pixel does, you know, while keeping that minimalist type of body and form factor. I feel like, you know, having very bright colors or doing things like making the power button a different color and things like that, while having that minimalist type of look, would actually be really cool. But just trying something different like that camera module that we have on the Pixel 6, it looks very, very minimalist, but it looks different as well. It says the new chipset can fuse up to 12 images for improved night mode shots. It also uses 2 cameras in portrait mode for a cleaner separation between subject and background. And it has smarts that allow it to automatically pick up the best frame rate for recording video given the ambient light. Now that is very, very important when you're filming. I don't know if any of you guys record videos or do anything like that. Very, very important. The ambient lighting definitely has to work in unison with the frame rate that you're currently using, so it's great that they do this automatically, and I think it's going to come out with a better result, especially when people don't really know how to use a phone and they use the pro mode or something like that. I feel like instead of upgrading all of the hardware inside of the camera and charging a, you know, steeper price on these devices, they tweak little things in the software to make it better, and it looks like that's what they're doing right here to give the user an easier and better experience. So it's really cool that they're doing that. You know, Google did that very well as well. They're all software with the Google Pixel phones, so I think Samsung is definitely going to follow suit. The battery capacity grew to 5,000 milliamps, up 500 milliamps from the A52 series, so round of applause for Samsung for that one. It said charging remains the same at 25 watts. For what it's worth, that's the same as on the Galaxy S22, except that one has a smaller 3700 milliamp battery. So you're going to get 1300 more milliamps than the flagship S22. So that's great to see. The Samsung Galaxy A53 5G will become available in select markets on April 1st. Prices for Germany are in the table below. Now we have the prices down here. We're going to put them down here. It looks like the A53 5G for the 6 128GB one is going to be $450. UK it's going to be $400, and US it's going to be $450. As for the 8 and 256GB version, it doesn't look like we have prices for the US or the UK yet, but it's going to be $510. As for the Galaxy A33, $370. $370, and the UK $330. So that's what we have so far. It doesn't look like the A33 is going to have a 8GB 256GB option, so it looks like that's what we're missing out on there right now, but I'll keep you guys updated on everything in the future. But it says in the US it will launch the day before, at a price of $450 for a SIM-free unit. It will also be available through T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and other carriers from April 1st. Pre-orders start today, and if you do pre-order, you are eligible for a free pair of Galaxy Buds Live. So I think that's like $170 value that they say, but I don't think it's really that much. I think it's a little bit lower than that. So they're saying that the free Galaxy Buds Live is at $170 value. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's $170. Maybe retail, but when people resell it, those are gonna go for like $60. But it's cool. It's cool that we get those buds right there for free. That is really cool. So if you guys want to pre-order that, I'll leave a link in the description down below. You guys can go ahead and get yourself some free live buds or whatever, and you guys can actually get up to $100 trade-in credit. Now if you have the A51 or the A52 and you're trading in devices that are worth more than $100, please just open up an eBay, sell it on OfferUp, Craigslist, whatever you have to do so you can get the most money for that. Come back to the Galaxy website and get your A53. Now, I'm not saying that you guys should upgrade. I feel like this is for the people that need a mid-range device and they're upgrading from like the A51 or something. But for the A52, few software differences, some hardware differences. I don't think too much. We're gonna get into more of this, but you know, I don't know if this is a good upgrade. If it makes sense for you, go ahead and do it. Another thing that they were talking about on here as well is they're going to have virtual RAM options. So you guys are going to be able to go from, you know, the 6GB of RAM that you have on there, and I think go up to 8GB of RAM to increase performance in certain applications. So I thought that was really cool as well. You guys just need to go ahead and take a look at the keynote. It looks really cool. It's honestly, I like the way that they set it up, like the colors that they use. And also they're going to have two new colors. It's going to be Awesome Peach and Awesome Blue. So they already have Awesome White and Awesome Black as well. So those are the options that you guys can get. The only one that I'm seeing on the website right now is Awesome Black for the US. So I'm not sure if they sold out. I don't think they sold out, but if they did, cool. But I don't think they sold out. I think the only option is going to be Awesome Black for right now. Getting into the A33 5G, I'm sorry I'm not trying to hold out this video too long. I know you guys gotta do what you do, but it says the Galaxy A33 5G is roughly the same size as the A33, though it shrinks the display to 6.4 inches and the refresh rate to 90 Hz. It is still a Super AMOLED panel with Full HD resolution. This is a massive improvement over the A32 5G, which had a 60 Hz LCD with HD Plus resolution. It's a better display than what the new Galaxy A23 and M33 have to offer as well, so that's really good to see. The A33 looks like it's going to be a killer device. Moving on to the camera, the main module houses a 48 megapixel sensor and an f1.8 aperture lens with optical image stabilization. The ultra wide module here has a 8 megapixel sensor. The front facing camera drops down to 13 megapixels, though notice that it's inside a notch rather than a punch hole, so that's going to be a little bit different. I call that a half circle. I would say something like on a basketball court, a half circle. As for the auxiliary cameras on the back, the macro keeps the 5 megapixel resolution. The depth sensor is down to 2 megapixels. The rest is the same as on the A53 5G, or to put it in another way, better than the A32 5G. That one also had a 5000 mAh battery, but with only 15 watt charging, it needed nearly 2.5 hours for a full charge. Samsung says that the new phones will go 2 days before needing to be plugged in, so that looks really good. Both the A33 and A55, so they messed up right there. They put A55. I found a typo in the article. A53 5G come in 2 memory configurations: 6 RAM, 128 storage, 8 and 256 gigabyte. Both also have micro SD card slots up to 1 terabyte. So that's some really good options right there. I like that they're keeping that option open for the people that, you know, are transitioning from budget, or, you know, just want something a little bit better, a little bit more on the premium side with keeping that in there. Really nice to see that. Both phones are rated at IP67 for dust and water resistance. They also feature Gorilla Glass 5 on the front to protect their displays. So I believe we had that last year, if I'm not mistaken. The Samsung Galaxy A33 5G will be available from April 22nd in select markets. It says the A53 5G and A33 5G launch will have Android 12 and One UI 4.1. So that's awesome to see. But what's even more awesome, you guys are gonna love this, Samsung guarantees that they will receive 4 Android OS updates and up to 5 years of security patches. That's really big. A lot of companies are not doing that anymore, so it's nice to see that Samsung's really kind of like sticking it to the other companies while putting that in. So good on you, Samsung. Honestly think this was a really good keynote, well put together, and I'm super excited to get my hands on the A53. And if you guys want to send me one, go ahead and hit me up. Like, come on, bro. I reviewed all of your A series devices, but if not, I'm going to pre-order it anyways. It's all good. But some other miscellaneous information at the end of this. We'll release some other photos, information on my social media. So follow me at TechRight101 on Twitter and tech.right on Instagram. But as for the miscellaneous information, Samsung is also preparing to launch a new Onyx color for the Galaxy Buds 2 and Buds Live next month to complement the looks of the new A series phone. So that's really cool. The new Galaxy A series will not include a charger in the retail package, which Samsung paints as an eco-friendly move as it changes the packaging smaller. Speaking of the packaging, it is made out of sustainably sourced paper. I think that's the same thing with Google as well, so good on you, Samsung. The phones themselves use recycled post-consumer materials for the side buttons and SIM card trays, so that's always nice to see, helping the environment. But that's the information that I got for the A series devices. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. But I can't tell you how excited I am for the future of budget and mid-range devices, just seeing that we had a keynote finally from Samsung. So appreciate you guys, love you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, again, leave them in the comment section down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below, as well as subscribing if you're not a part of the Tech Gang already. Also hit the notification bell down below if you guys want to be notified every time I do upload a new video. This has been Safal from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.